Hey guys, thought I would do a little update. It is 6:15 p.m. on the 22nd of March on a Sunday. So we left the Grampians yesterday and we came to this really beautiful cottage. And that was my little surprise birthday present or belated birthday present for Ange. So we're hoping to have a really nice relaxing time. This would be the only time bar once in 3 months that we've not been in the rooftop tent. And so yeah, it was kind of like a well-deserved little break, but they have now just announced that as of 1:30 p.m. on Tuesday, so in 2 days, they will be shutting interstate travel with South Australia and Western Australia. That'll probably quite quickly become the other states as well. So we've decided that if we're going to be sent into kind of self-isolation, we're going to have to find probably a very remote campsite. Yeah, away from anyone who might be infected, but close enough that we can get essential supplies when we need, such as obviously food. So we will try and find a place in Western Australia. Now, Western Australia is a very large state and there is a lot to see and do there. Not that we'll be able to, I don't think, but we're thinking WA is the best place to go. So, as I'm sure a lot of your lives will change, ours will as well. And probably, obviously keeping up a filming schedule, doing our big lap around Australia has already changed a lot because we're going to have to skip South Australia. We are going to try and sleep tonight for a few hours. And then to give you a heads up, Western Australia, the border that we've got to cross, is 1,600 something kilometers away. So it's a very long way away. So on the map, on Google Maps, that's looking to be about 17 and a half hours non-stop driving. I have spent the day getting the General all ready to go. I've been underneath lubing all the joints. I'm trying to look at everything we can. We've filled up 2 20-litre jerry cans. We've filled the tank up. We've got heaps of water. We've tried to get as much food as we can, but we're not completely self-sufficient. I mean, we rely on petrol, we rely on water, and we to a degree rely on fresh food, especially myself. I eat so much more than a normal human. So I'm probably going to have to buy a spear gun and a wetsuit as soon as I can, maybe even a reflex or a compound bow. And if it comes down to it, it's going to be fend for yourself kind of stuff. So that'll be an interesting one. I think the plan at this stage is to find somewhere in Western Australia within the next week that has fresh water, salt water, 4G capacity, so we can keep in contact with our relatives and the outside world. And we're going to need to be away from people, so there is that self-isolation. It's going to have to be some sort of wild site, and we're going to have to be within driving distance of a town, a reliable source of food, really. So yeah, there's a tall order. I'm pretty stressed out. I don't know if I can go back to New Zealand because obviously I'm with Ange, and Ange would probably not be granted a tourist visa or a working visa for long term at this stage. So, real tricky one. I'm trying to keep my cool, but doomsday prep at the same time. But yeah, we'll see how we go.
I don't really know what to say, what to think at the moment. Chris is really much more aware and great at making decisions than I am, so I'm just following what he thinks the best for us. There's a lot of driving coming up for us. We should be able to make it. It's gonna be hard and very boring, I can imagine, but if we can make it on time and safely, I would be very happy with that. But what is going to happen after Tuesday is really unclear and quite scary. So we're trying to get some information on exactly what's happened for people like us who live on the road, who have no home. It's just so unclear, and I've got no idea what self-isolation could mean for us. So just getting more information about that, trying to find out which city, which area I would say more, we could settle in for a while in Western Australia. I don't want to be too close to Perth, but at the same time, I don't want to be too much like in a remote area. So we'll see, like we'll have some updates out, I'm sure, like in the coming days, and probably change plans like 10 times, but I'm feeling quite down. I can't really put words on it. I'm sure there are like a lot more people who've got worse situations than we do, but the feeling of not having a home, and like this is our home, and we actually have like really nowhere to be. We have no family in Australia. It's quite scary. So we'll see how the coming days come, and we'll just follow the news. So it's Monday the 23rd of March. We put the alarm for 3 a.m. this morning, but woke up before. So we are now on the road. It's 3 or 6 a.m. We are aiming to get to the border to Western Australia, so it's 17 hours and 26 minutes. So obviously we won't make it today, but we'll do as much driving as we can today and do the remaining tomorrow, and then head to Esperance in the coming days. So we've made it to Adelaide, 7:15 a.m. local time, worst possible timing, rush hour, but we'll try to get through away from the CBD. We've got a really beautiful sunrise. I don't know if you can tell, get a windscreen. Under $1. That's the greatest news of today.
It's Tuesday the 24th. We didn't quite make it all the way because it started to rain and it got very dark. We did around about 15 and a half hours of driving yesterday, and we've only got about an hour and 45 left to make it across the WA border. So we camped at the start of the Nullarbor at a truck stop in the rain, which wasn't the best, but we got a little bit of kit, and now we're going to smash the rest of it and then work out what we do from there.
Right on the cliff of the Great Australian Bight. That would have been a good spot to camp, but we don't know if it was quite windy and there's a lot of rain last night. Great place.
So we made it to Western Australia. What a slog. Yeah. I'm exhausted.
Chris drove the whole way through, so I was the co-pilot, trying to keep him awake, feed him, give him some drinks.
Bit of a marathon effort, but we just stopped for sunrise on the Nullarbor, which I really wanted to do, so I'm glad I pushed really hard yesterday. So that's pretty bloody cool. So we chucked those shots up, and now we are going to go until we can stop and have some coffee because we're exhausted, check out the news. But as you guys know, we don't have family in Australia, so there was no point in us going back to New South Wales at all.
Yeah.
There was nothing for us there. If anything, there's more cases in New South Wales by far. So we're going to go to WA, and then worst case, we get stuck there for a while, and we'll just lock ourselves down.
So it's Wednesday, 25th of March. We made it to Esperance yesterday. We arrived quite late, so we stayed the night close to the town as all the shops were closed. This morning we went to Woolworths, got all our groceries, stopped as well in a few shops to get some other essential goods, replenish the water, and now we're going campsite hunting for the next few weeks. And this is where we are at the moment. Literally driving on the most beautiful beach. So it's Thursday, 26th of March. Yesterday at the end, we didn't really get to find like a proper campsite, like an isolated beach. We had to make a compromise. So we came back towards Esperance.
Yes.
Where we found this little spot, just back huge rock. And so we parked the Jeep here. We don't know how long we'll stay here. At this stage, we're aiming for the next days or so. Chris, the big update, I spent a lot of cash on getting some spare fishing gear. So that's the plan for today. It's gonna get used to his gear. I'll go for a little swim with him, and we just chill for the rest of the day. So it's Saturday, the 28th of March. We haven't really filmed the past couple of days. We're just figuring out this whole situation. So it's been a new update last night from the premiere of WA. So apparently they are closing the intra-state region borders on Tuesday midnight. So that leaves us another 4 days to figure out where to actually settle.
Yeah, so we were holed up in a beautiful little spot in Esperance, but it was too close to town, so there was actually quite a lot of people around, which was making us uncomfortable. We weren't guaranteed that we'd be able to stay there long term, even though we weren't doing any wrong or anything like that. But yeah, we've decided to leave there and head further west for now. I got some spearfishing kit just in case I have to start feeding us our main protein from the sea. So went out for the first time, caught a decent sized fish, which was pretty neat. So I'm going to start getting into that a bit more to make us more self-sufficient. So we've done another big stock up of canned food and things like that. So we're hoping wherever we find now within the next few days, we can stay at for say 2 weeks at a time, or basically whenever our fresh water runs out, we have to go to a nearer town and fill up. But yeah, we're hoping to be more remote this time.
So thank you very much to the Jeep Perth community. Chris reached out to them, and we had a lot of very helpful recommendations. So that's good to know in times like that the community is really helping. So we are heading towards the Bremer Bay area. So now we're just gonna check out the town just to see what it has to offer in terms of like supplies and things like that if we need to as a backup, and we'll head to our spot.
All right, we may have found the spot finally. Too much driving, so let's hope, fingers crossed, this spot's pretty good. Thank you.
Okay.
Cheers.